Russell Westbrook might be the only thing saving the Lakers. I've been very critical of the Lakers, and rightfully so. They're not a good team, they don't have that many weapons, and honestly, there's no positives within the team. And ever since I made that first Lakers video, my point has only been proven, as they're statistically one of the worst teams in basketball. But I'm not here to beat on the Lakers again. See, I'm here to talk about the one positive of this team, and that positive was a problem at the beginning of the season that no one really knew what to do with. However, his role has been changed, and now he's playing a lot better. Yes, I am talking about Russell Westbrook and his new six-man role. When you used to say that Russell Westbrook should be moved to the bench, it would be seen as something very disrespectful to say, almost insinuating that his time was up and his career would be over very soon, and that he just wasn't a good player anymore. And while that might have been true for some people, I honestly thought Westbrook would thrive on a bench role, or exactly a six-man role, so he's not really reducing his minutes, he's just not in the quote-unquote starting lineup. See, in basketball, sometimes they don't use their best players for the starting lineup, which might seem kinda crazy, but in some cases, a starting lineup is literally just a starting lineup. It's the lineup used to start off the game and set the tone. Like, take for example Jordan Clarkson. This guy is technically a six-man, at least he was in years prior, but now he's obviously a starter. Now, even though he's a six-man and people compare him to like Jamal Crawford when it comes to that role, best believe when it's clutch time, Clarkson's gonna be in. Another good example would be Tyler Hero. Yes, Tyler Hero's had that six-man role, but he's getting paid like a starter. It is simply just a role, and Westbrook is playing this role very well compared to what he was doing earlier. A lot of people have been wanting to blame Darvin Ham for the reason the Lakers haven't been doing well, but I would honestly argue against that and say that it's not his fault. We knew the Lakers were going to be bad this year, there's no question about that, and Darvin Ham wasn't going to be able to do much about it. However, he's doing more than even I thought he could, hence him practically saving Russell Westbrook's career right now. I mean, if we look at his stats, him off the bench, he's averaging 18.8 points per game, which is very good for him. In fact, if we looked at these numbers and compared them to the previous couple years, it would be his highest scoring average ever since 2020 with the Wizards. But something else I want to look at is his usage percentage. The Lakers aren't killing Russell Westbrook by using him way more than they need to. This season, Russell Westbrook has a usage percentage of 25.4%, and if we compare it to his other seasons, it's the lowest it's been since 2009, which was his sophomore season. For most of his career, he's someone that needed to lead the offense and basically be using the ball around 30% of the time. He was a ball dominant player, and he's someone that constantly needed to be running the offense, but as he got older, it only got worse for him. So to see a simple stat like his usage percentage go down by even just 1%, mind you, he's only now starting to play this bench role, makes me very happy for Westbrook. Also, I know we're about 10 games in, so some of these stats are still a small sample size, but even like his net rating. Also, Westbrook these last 3 seasons has had a negative net rating, but as we can see, it's only at negative 0.2, which yes, that's still technically negative, but he's trending towards a positive net rating. Even if we look at his minutes, he's barely averaging 30 minutes per game, so we're clearly starting to see that the Lakers are using him less, which some Westbrook fans might say that's a bad thing and that the Lakers aren't using him properly, but I would disagree. I think another good example of this would be Chris Paul with the Suns. He's getting older and he's not as good as he used to be. However, the Suns have a lot of weapons, so they don't need to use CP3 as much as he did when he was in LA. They have guys like Booker and Mikal and Cam Johnson and DeAndre Ayton to be other scorers for that team. However, Phoenix is one of the best teams in the West right now, and the Lakers are, well, not. So what are the differences between these two situations? Well, despite having LeBron James and Anthony Davis as your counterparts, it would be very weird to find out that it's not working out with these three. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but LeBron James might actually be the problem. LeBron, for one, is shooting 20% from 3, which is the worst in the NBA. Also, we just have to accept the reality that father time is a thing and will eventually strike. This dude has been in the NBA for 20 damn years. Now, I still believe LeBron is a good player, but he's not a top 10 player anymore. He's not as good as he used to be, and that's okay. But one of the reasons why bringing Westbrook was such a good reason is because LeBron and AD were supposed to be the best players, and then Westbrook could help them when they're getting older. Unfortunately, Westbrook is being utilized in a role where them being old is no longer an excuse. But I haven't mentioned Anthony Davis yet, who this season is actually playing pretty well. However, I wouldn't get your hopes up because this man is made out of paper. So unfortunately, he could be having an MVP season and then just one hit to the ground makes him break his whole damn body. I'll give him credit though, he's taken a couple falls this season and nothing happened. I've also heard reports that he's like playing injured, so at this point, I don't know what to believe. But according to the stats and watching him play, he's playing as a very efficient player, which is what the Lakers need right now. Now, even though Anthony Davis is playing well and LeBron James is starting to regress a little bit, I still believe Russell Westbrook is the X factor of this team. I know I made multiple videos last year saying he was regressing. I know I said at the beginning of the season he's a problem, and I still stand by the fact that as a starter, he's a problem. But you know how the saying goes, bench Brook is the best Brook. Yo, shout out to my thumbnail designer for that. As the season goes on, I really expect the Lakers to utilize this new Russell Westbrook form because he's still playing pretty well. Also, I've seen in recent history that older point guards actually do pretty well off the bench. For example, last year in the playoffs, Steph Curry did not play for the first round, I believe the whole entire series. If not, he missed the majority of it, but Jordan Poole really stepped up. Now, to be fair, the Lakers don't have a player of Jordan Poole's caliber, but I think you know the point I'm trying to get. I love Austin Reeves, but he's not exactly at the Jordan Poole level, but who knows, maybe with development he could be. I don't see the Lakers as the playoff team, and to be honest, I don't think you guys should either, but I think this season is more of a science experiment because we're now seeing what works and what doesn't with this team. The only problem is I don't think they have that many draft picks because they gave so much to get AD, and their future is in Austin Reeves. By the future, I mean younger players. Obviously, I know guys like Anthony Davis and Westbrook will be there for a couple more years, but I'm talking more like 5 to 10 years. I think they need to use this season to really just figure out what's going to work. Westbrook off the bench is going to work for I think maybe 3 to 5 more years. If you can utilize him in a role where he doesn't have to play as much and he can play some valuable basketball but not at a high quantity, I think you're going to be fine. But what about the rest of the guys? I think there comes a point where you need to just accept the fact that LeBron James's time is almost up. Now LeBron James loves to prove people wrong, so after this video he could end up having like a 50-point game and ended up leading the Lakers to a 1 seed. I don't know, that man is crazy. But in reality, it seems like LeBron James is either A, going to retire very soon, or leave to go to another team to, I guess, retire with the sun. I'm not sure what he's doing. But I can tell you right now, as of the present time, Russell Westbrook's career is being saved, and I think Darvin Ham is to thank for this. Because to be honest, I thought Frank Vogel was a terrible coach, and the only reason why he even stayed there for as long as he did, because they won the championship. But what did he do? Well, nothing. Everyone and their stepdog knew that they were going to win the championship that year because Kobe died, it was in the bubble, and all the momentum was for LA. Also, if I'm being honest, they were a good team. They had a good system. They were using LeBron at the point guard. They were making AD a center. They had good bench depth. But because of Rob Pelinka's dumbass, they decided to blow up the whole team to give it up for Russell Westbrook. And now listen, I love the role he's playing, but the way they wanted to work out clearly did not work out. Even the year after when they lost to Phoenix, if Anthony Davis did not get hurt and some things played out in their way, they could have won that series. And even if they didn't, you run it back the next season. But because Rob Pelinka has the attention span of a 12-year-old on TikTok, he obviously wanted to blow it up. The point I'm trying to make is that Russell Westbrook and Darvin Ham are probably the best thing about this team. And even though those are very positive things for them, unfortunately, it's probably not enough to lead them farther into the playoffs. Now, if LeBron James could maybe stop regressing for a while and have one more good season, if Anthony Davis can stay healthy and Westbrook really does continue to embrace this role, in a miracle, I think they could be a play-in team. And you never know with the NBA, anything could happen. Even Russell Westbrook thriving off the bench.
I got a 30, my nigga got 50, that's 30 for 30 and 60 for 20. Back on the block when these niggas, they see me, they know we was dirty, but now we get money. We pulling off double law, a Hellcat, Lambo truck, say you niggas ain't ready. If you want smoke, yeah, my niggas on steady. Do it 160 inside of the belly. Nigga, they started, they know I'ma finish this nigga.